Episode 128. On today's episode, we discuss recent roster moves, injury updates on Jared Jones, game recaps, and our opening day roster predictions. You're listening to the Bucco Bantr podcast, brought to you by the Just Baseball Media Network. Cue music.
Rockin' 101, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Order steak by the plates, and in case after case, run my race at my pace, clear the grass of the snake.
Welcome back, Adam. We got another episode. We're live from Pittsburgh, though. We're not in Florida anymore. Thank God. That state sucks.
How's your sunburn?
It's actually a lot better. It's a tan, like I told you guys. You guys were overreacting. Like, you look like Larry the Lobster. I told you it's going to be a tan in a day. Guess what? It was a tan in a day. So,
funny. One of my coworkers was asking about my Florida trip this morning, and I said it was great. Wasn't really a vacation, more of a work trip. To be fair, didn't get to watch much baseball besides on the backfields because we were jumping around, interviewing. All right. And I said the best part about the trip was I escaped the worst of the sunburn. I have the journalist sunburn, little triangle, the Big J sunburn, right where I had the top two buttons unbuttoned for my polo. And I told her, my co-host didn't listen to me, refused to put on sunscreen.
Yep.
And did it before it was too late and looked like Larry the Lobster.
But I didn't.
Before the end of the trip.
That's the funny thing.
His excuse the entire trip was, I'm Italian. Don't worry. This will be a tan. And she looked at me and she said, well, aren't you Italian too?
Oh, man, I'm insulted. Right,
and I was like, I have to tell Scott this. The first thing she's like, well, I've seen a lot of Italians that look exactly like you. And I was like, I guess I'm in the family.
Nah, sorry. You're not welcome in the family.
But man, I'm happy to be back. I'm exhausted. I am tired. I have slept at 9:30 every single night, which if you know me, I don't go to bed till like 12:31.
You sleep until like 11.
Yeah, I am.
On non-work days.
Yeah, on non-work days. But it was a good trip, man. We talked to Nikki G, Nick York, Tim Meza, Adam Frazier, Kyle Nicholas, Henry Davis, Justin Lawrence, Spencer Horwitz, Ryan Barucki, Aliko Williams. Some guys that we didn't get on camera. Jordan Comodino, we had some good conversations with. We met Jim Leland.
Yeah, that was
pretty cool. Steve Glass.
Well, I'm not going to put him on blast, but.
Oh, no, he was all over the park.
Seeing him smoke a pack of heaters underneath the bullpen was pretty funny. I was like, yeah, this is Jim Leland for sure.
The security was just turning their head the other way.
What are you going to tell Jim Leland to leave? No, he's a Hall of Famer.
All that being said, I came back with a smile on my face, ready for Pirates baseball.
Oh boy, did that get wiped off quickly?
Whew. Do we just get right into this news before anything?
Yeah, let's just dive in.
Just dive into it.
Nothing
Today,
worth living for anymore.
It was reported first by Alex Stumpf that Jared Jones is experiencing right elbow discomfort.
Yep.
And this happened during a bullpen this week. He reported it to the team. Noah then reported that they're going to get a second opinion.
That's the quote. I'm going to stop you there. That's the quote that gets me, because when you're going for a second opinion, it's usually an issue, right? He's probably going to go towards surgery. That's typically, I don't want to say that like definitively, but that's typically the approach. And the way I see it, if you're going for a second opinion, you're kind of delaying the inevitable, and you're delaying the recovery time, because coming back from tummy John, it's like what, 12 to 14 months, maybe 16 sometimes. When I see news like that, I'm like, just go get the surgery now. Let's get it over with. Let's get back as soon as possible. So
it's a matter of a couple of days at this point.
I know, but still, he could be out till next summer.
Sure. And this is maybe a poor argument given the recent news with Garrett Cole, but Garrett Cole had some issues going into last year, and guess what? He pitched well. So am I ruling Jared Jones out for the season? Not yet. Am I certain that he's going to spend some time on the IL at least to start the season? Almost absolutely yes. I think even as a precautionary measure, even if everything's okay, they're going to give him some time to rest here. But right when this is the strength of this group, the starting five, and then you have Bubba coming up and you have Thomas Harrington coming up. And we'll talk about these guys in a minute because they've become even more crucial to the piece of the puzzle here in this team having any success this year, where you thought you had Skeens, Jones, Keller, and then one of Falter and Heaney until Bubba and or Harrington come up. Now we have to replace the number two. And who is that going to be? Are they going to go out and sign a veteran arm to just go eat innings? And I'll tell you what, not many great options out there.
Well, you're not replacing the number two. Like, you're not bringing in a number two. That's obvious.
No, but
right?
at this point, of course not. Of course not. You're going to replace that within it because obviously that's going to be Bubba Chandler at some point, but they're not going to stray from the course with Bubba, just like how they didn't do it with Paul Skeens last year. Will they do that with Harrington? I think that's more likely because he's a back of the end rotation guy. He's more command over velo. I think he could probably eat innings in a more reasonable way than how you're going to be Hawkeyeing Bubba Chandler throughout the year, just like how you did Skeens last year. But out there right now is Spencer Turnbull, Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson. If you're just talking depth of getting more arms in this system, because believe it or not, we were at a point earlier in this year where when they traded Luis Ortiz, we were asking them to do more with this group because it was so deep. I have a quote card out there somewhere in the last 10 episodes saying this is the deepest group it's ever been. And within 2 to 3 weeks, you lose Oviedo, who you thought you were going to have back at some point, and you lose your number 2 in Jared Jones. So what do they do, Scott? What's the next move 8 days away from opening day?
So, given that it's super early in the season, I'm gonna take a different approach. I'm not gonna panic. I'm gonna say it's still a strength. Believe it or not, I think any rotation with Paul Skeens in it is a strength. But I think you got two options here going into the season. I actually like Spencer Turnbull, by the way. I think he'd be a solid innings eater. I think he'd be a nice veteran signing. But if you don't go outside external, which I don't think they will, just knowing the Pirates, I think depending on the length of the IL stint for Jared Jones, which if it's shorter, I say, hey, Carmen Wojcinski's been stretched out in spring and he wants to be a starter. Let's see if he can go 4 to 5 innings, every 5 days. I think that would be the short-term approach. Long-term approach, I think it's Thomas Harrington. I think it's between the two of them. You also got Mike Burrows and you also got Braxton Ashcraft. Braxton Ashcraft, obviously there's not a lot of mileage in the arm. He's been hurt. I don't think he's going to be up for consideration just yet. I think he'd be more of a bullpen option first before a rotation guy if it was someone needed to make an immediate impact. But I think you're going to go Wojcinski or Harrington here in the 5 spot if you don't go external, and I bet that they don't go external.
I think it's too late to go external, at least for right now, right? Because 8 days away, whoever you sign is going to have to get ramped up for the first probably month of the season. I just gave you 3 veteran names. They're not ready to go right now. And I kind of like the idea of a Turnbull or a Gibson if it comes down to just needing a guy to eat innings at the back end. Lance Lynn could also be an option if you're it's kind of like Luis Ortiz last year. It's pretty much the same mold, but older at 37 years old.
And 300 pounds heavier, but whatever.
Sure. Who's counting? But I agree with the Carmen Majinski idea. But my only concern is what if that doesn't work? And you might find
that's
that
why
out
it'd be a
fairly
short term.
quickly.
That's why it would be short term.
It could be short term. But then do you revert then to using your bullpen more often than not for the first couple weeks of the season?
Yeah.
Which they ended up doing halfway through last year, and we saw the effect that it had on all of the arms. You had to plan every week to use 5 to 6 of your bullpen arms every 6 days.
Yeah, that's definitely a risk. I mean, that's definitely a risk. I mean, they came in when they signed him. Caleb Ferguson was a guy that they rumored to be potentially stretching out. He hasn't really been stretched out. Like, I think he's thrown 3 innings once in spring training, if that. So I don't really see him as an option. Like, he could be an opener, but Carmen Majinski is a guy that I could see them going, hey, give us 4, 5 would be great.
5 would be excellent.
Would be excellent, but he's the only guy that's been stretched out of that bullpen group. And that bullpen group is a little bit deeper because, like, I was looking at the Fangraphs projected bullpen today. We'll get into our projected, rosters here in a little bit. But like Kyle Nicholas and Ryan Barucki were not on that.
I was going to say, I looked at that.
Crazy.
Group, that's
so like, that's nuts to me because I think Kyle Nicholas is one of the better arms in that pen. But yeah, I think you got some options. I'm anxious and slightly eager to see what comes of this Jared Jones news, because we were just down in Florida and like we were standing like 10 feet away from Jared Jones. I saw him throwing a medicine ball up against the wall. Like he looked like he was in good spirits, whatnot. It's just crazy how quickly this stuff can come on. And he's had an excellent spring. We saw it with Shane Bieber last year when he started the season with Cleveland, and Shane Bieber had like consecutive outings with like a dozen strikeouts, and then like his season ended with Tommy John just out of nowhere. It's like, oh, he looked good. He wasn't even showing glimpses of like being hurt.
Right. I think it's common at this time of the year, which is unfortunate right before the season, as you become more ramped up, as you start throwing more innings, as you start increasing the velo or the intensity a little bit, you might suffer an injury, whether that's a leg injury, a lat injury, or unfortunately a right elbow injury, which is the worst possible news you could get as a right-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Now that I'm thinking about it a little more, I'd rather go Burrows. I'd rather just say
he's an option too.
Yeah. You were once the guy in this system. You came back last year after years of dealing with injuries, and you didn't look bad. You have great stuff. You have stuff that plays at the major league level. So let's go see if it plays. What are we waiting for at this time? Are we waiting for you to get more ramped up to see more AAA pitching? I don't think that's going to do him any good at this juncture, especially with what this team is right now. You cannot just sit back and test out different options. I know you're put in a difficult situation right now where maybe you go bullpen, maybe you go Majinski, maybe you go Ferguson, maybe you get an outside arm, but you have guys. So guess what? Time to use them. And Ashcraft isn't ready, but Burrows is. Burrows should be and is ready. Whether it works or not, whether it plays, we're going to have to find out. But we really don't have many other options.
Yeah, I think regardless, we're going to see Burrows a lot this year. And he's a guy that's going to be starting for sure. You need, on average, 8 to 10 starting pitchers a year. So he's definitely going to be in that conversation. Eager to see him up here along with Harrington. I want to see Carmen Mlodzinski get the opportunity too. If he were to get the opportunity, let's do it early on in the year in these games, like against the Marlins, the Rays, the Reds.
Sure.
Not to discount those teams, but let's get that out early to see if he can do it.
He has stuff, man. He has the stuff to do it. That's why they put him in that position. He was drafted as a starting pitcher. He was expedited through the minors to get on this roster because he has good stuff and it has potential to play for multiple innings, but I just don't trust it right now.
Yeah,
like, I'm saying I want to win right now. Is my first instinct to go to Bajinski? Absolutely not. But that's the reality that we're in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real quick. Do you want to do a prayer?
Yeah. Listen, I posted a prayer circle today on Twitter for Jared Jones. God bless his soul. He
didn't die.
It's like when the White Sox brought out Eloy Jimenez's jersey, and everyone was like, "Well, did he freaking die?"
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was incredible. So actually, we should do that for opening day. If he hits the IL, I'm bringing Jared Jones. Like I'm bringing like a voodoo, like a Jobu Buddha statue. Like I
wore my shirt.
Jared Jones. God bless, man. God bless. Rest in peace. I mean, rest well, brother.
Rest well.
Rest that arm well.
Let's
mini prayer. Moment of silence real quick. Okay, roster moves. Ready. Roster moves. We got some guys that got optioned down to AAA and into the minors. I'll go through those real quick. Share with me any thoughts that you may have. We have 42 players remaining on the major league roster in spring training. Jason DeLay was optioned to AAA. Okay. Derek Hall, Nick Solak, Alika Williams, Abraham Gutierrez, Matt Gorski, Bryce Johnson, Johan Ramirez were reassigned to minor league spring training. So the big takeaways from this is the backup catchers between Endy Rodriguez and Henry Davis, right? Jason DeLay was optioned. Not a big surprise. And then also first base seems to be between DJ Stewart, Jared Triolo, Nick York, and Billy Cook. And Derek Hall, I thought one of those other guys like the York or Cook would be optioned before Hall because Hall is a traditional first baseman and might get a longer look with big league experience. But it seems like it's trending towards the Stewart Triolo platoon.
Yeah, I think Triolo's going to get looks there no matter what, but the platoon does make sense.
Yeah.
I would love to say, hey, let's put Billy Cook out there just because of versatility, but then you're negating either Jared Triolo because it's a right-handed bat and another right-handed bat that's going to be playing the same spot. And then that makes no sense to roster DJ Stewart. And then you were about to say Nick York,
who's looked pretty rough at first base, I would say. Yeah.
Not good.
And we want his bat in the lineup, but at the same time, like you're not going to not roster the Platinum Gold Glove winner.
No, he's way more valuable. Yeah,
like you need Jared Triolo on this roster, and with Adam Frazier probably getting a big league contract, it's a tough spot for Billy Cook and Nick York to be in. And now again, I don't know how long Adam Frazier is going to be on this roster, but I think Billy Cook and Nick York have more long-term value than Adam Frazier for sure. But I think this is come opening day, and I know DJ Stewart's a little bit rough defensively too, but he gets on base, and like we've said before, the guy who's going to hit, I think Jim said this, the guy who's going to hit is going to get that roster spot.
I know this goes against everything I just said and not experimenting with guys like Majinski, but what argument can any fan make to roster Adam Frazier over Nick York?
I don't have an argument. I don't know. Like
it's tough, right? Unless you're just, hey, I want another lefty bat in the lineup because they could not hit right-handed pitching last year.
I think it's, again, the Pirates front office is big on familiarity. Adam Frazier is familiar with this organization. His last good season in the major leagues, quite frankly, was with the Pirates in 1920. And he provides value in the utility role, which we have many of those guys already anyway, at like 10 years younger. But I don't foresee him. If this team is serious this year, I don't foresee him being on this roster long. He just can't.
Nice guy.
Yeah, he's nice.
He's nice to us.
Yeah. He stopped for an interview.
Real quick, I'll save this. I'll save this for the game recaps. I have an interesting point I want to run by you. Maybe the end of an era.
Yes. Yeah, we'll talk about this.
Let's get into it, right? Game recaps. I'll get us kicked off here, Scott. Sunday, 4-3 W at the Yankees. This is when we were on the plane back to Pittsburgh. By the way, one of the roughest flights I've ever been on.
Yeah, we were almost in the middle of a tornado. It was no big deal.
Just brutal.
I actually ran to the front and landed the plane myself. No big deal.
Yeah, it was a standing O, everything. Yeah, it was incredible.
They're going to make a Netflix movie called Sully 2 or something like that. Coming to theaters near you.
Carson Fulmer, 2 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Gave up a home run. Tim Mayza, 1 1/3, no hits, 1 walk, 1 K. He's looked pretty good so far. Joey Wentz, 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Isaac Mattson had a really good outing. 2 innings pitched, no hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Struck out Peraza, Judge, Bellinger. And then Derek Hall, 1 for 1 with a home run, 2 RBIs. Only 4 hits in this one. York, Palacios, IKF. Who am I missing here?
That's it. Well, the double or the home run by Derek Hall.
Yeah. So not much offense, but they got the W, which brings us to Monday at the Tigers.
Yeah. So Monday was a split squad. We had 2 games going. First game was in Lakeland against the Tigers. Bailey Falter started 2 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. He came back from having that last start scratch, which we learned pretty quickly being down in Florida that he was okay. We overheard a lot of conversations there. Strzelecki went 1 inning, pitched 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Justin Lawrence gave up 2 earned runs in an inning. He's a guy that could be volatile. This stuff moves a ton. A lot of east to west movement, 2 walks and a K for him. IKF has had a solid spring. We're not talking about him enough. 3 for 4. He's hitting 353. Indy went 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a triple. He's hitting 360. He stays hot. He's getting a ton of reps. Jack Sawinski, another extra base hit, 1 for 2 with a double. And Nicky G also hit a double. He's hitting 324. I'd love to see Nicky G doing well. He's one of our favorite guys there on the team, friend of the pod. So love to see him doing well, but lost to the Tigers 9-6 on Monday.
And then it was a split squad. So they also played the Twins, won that one. Skeens, 4 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned, 3 walks, 7 Ks. Caleb Ferguson, 1 inning pitch, 3 Ks. Dennis Santana, 1 inning pitch, 1 hit, 1 earned, 1 walk, 1 K, gave up a home run. Ryan Barucki struck out the side, 1 inning pitch, 3 Ks. And then Tanner Rainey earned the save, 1 inning, 1 K. And then on the offensive side, Reynolds with his first home run of the spring. Joey Bart had a home run opposite field. Ke'Bryan Hayes went oppo, home run, nice 2-handed finish. And then Nick York,
nice.
Nick York 2 for 3. Hayes has looked pretty solid, man. I do like this swing. I know it's kind of been hit or miss this camp with some discomfort and some nagging injuries and taking our time with them, but there's a lot of promise going into this year with the adjustments that he's made. I think this is the biggest adjustment in his career when it comes to just the entire swing and tailoring it towards what was hurting him the most. So I'm excited to see how that plays.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We need a big year Key. I think he's like definitely a pick to click for this team. But let's go into Tuesday real quick. 3-2 win versus the Phillies at Lecom. This is the game that Jared Jones got scratched from when the speculation started. Thomas Harrington started. He went 3 2/3. 1 hit. That 1 hit was a home run by Nick Castellanos, of course. 3 Ks. Bednar pitched better. He went an inning, 2 Ks. Nicholas, 1 inning, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 K. It was his first earned run of the spring, by the way. He's had a great spring. Javier Rivas, single A shortstop in Braintree last year. Probably one of the better defensive gloves in the system. He had a walk-off home run. They were down 2-0 in the last inning. They came back and they won 3-2. Outside of Javi Rivas, Joey Bart went 2 for 3 with a double. Continues his hot spring, and DJ Stewart went 1 for 1 with a double, was hitting over 300. So the bats were definitely going here late in this game against the Phils, against Christopher Sanchez, who's one of the better arms in the National League. Good to see that W here at Lecom.
And then Wednesday, 5-3 L at the Rays. Andrew Haney, this is his second to last start this spring. Hasn't looked good, but his conversation after the game made me feel a little bit better about where he's at. This game, 4 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned, no walks, 2 Ks, gave up 2 bombs. He's got a 9.49 ERA on this spring, which is nothing out of the ordinary for Andrew Haney. He said he felt clean, though, a little bit more comfortable, working through some mechanical issues, has 1 more start, which is where he needs to be going into the season. So if history is correct, he should be just fine. Holderman came up to clean up the mess. 2/3, 1 hit, 2 Ks. Tim Meza, 1 inning pitch, 3 hits, 2 earned, 2 Ks. G1 Bay is hitting 444 this spring. And it's funny because before you say anything, shut up. It was funny because before the pod, before we went on, Scott said, "You know what, Adam?
Don't put those words in my mouth." He
said, "You know who we're not talking about enough? This Bay guy. 2 for 3, 1 run, 1 RBI, 1 walk. He's hitting 444. Listen, all jokes aside, this is a AAA bat. I think it's proven, at least to us, that this does not translate every day at the major league level. The swing is not conducive to staying consistent in any lineup. But this is what it's going to look like at AAA. And whether you will see some appearances from G1 Bay this year, no doubt in my mind. But if he is an everyday starter or and the opening day roster, God help us all. Jack Sawinski, 2 for 4, 2 Ks, 371 on the spring, and then Henry Davis, 2 for 3 with 1 run. Out of all of that, man, we got a lot to think about, because opening day is 8 days away till they go to Miami. We already know Paul Skeens is the opening day starter. What does this roster look like? And there's a lot more to think about since we initially had this conversation, Scott, on putting together separately what we think the 26-man roster is going to look like.
Yeah.
And I haven't even changed mine because I'm looking at mine now and I still have Jones in here.
Yeah, I put like if Jones out, I have like a scenario, but it's a lot has changed, man. And I don't know how you want to go through this. If you want to go through the lineup first and the bench, do the bats first, and then do the arms.
Let's
But
see. Let's go rotation last.
okay,
Let's
let's.
go let's go position players first, and then we'll go to the bullpen, and then we'll go to the rotation.
Yeah, let's. Okay, all right. So position players. I have Tommy Pham in left, O'Neill in center, Brian Reynolds in right, Key at third, IKF at short, Nick Gonzalez at second, DJ Stewart at first, Joey Bart at catcher, McCutcheon at DH. The bench, I have Davis, Triolo, Frazier, and Sawinski.
Okay, so we have the same exact 1 through 9.
Okay.
No changes whatsoever.
Okay.
My bench is slightly different, and I wanted to give us some parity here.
Okay.
So I have Triolo, I have Adam Frazier, I have Jack Sawinski, I have Endy Rodriguez.
Okay.
And I am still on the fence about it. Endy, man, in 25 at bats, 10 runs, 9 hits, 1 home run, 6 RBIs. He's hitting 360, 529 on base with a 1169 OPS. Henry's not far off. 33 at bats, 8 runs, 9 hits, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 1 stolen base, 273, 314 on base, so a lot lower, and then an 892 OPS. We know for a fact Endy has been getting more reps on the backfields as well. And we know he's been getting more playing time in the Major League Spring Training games. Something tells me that they're trying to speed up this process because my initial thought was Endy's going to start in AAA. He needs more time. He needs more games. I think I might have been wrong about that. Just because now I understand that it's still just might be the case, and they're just trying to get as much in as possible to get him up here. And Henry doesn't really have anything to prove at the AAA level, but it also does give you a lefty bat to supplement Joey Bart with.
Yeah. No, I'm on that fence too. I'm like going more towards that fence, but I don't know. I just feel that they're going to give like what more does Henry, and Noah said this before, what more does Henry have to gain at AAA? And that shouldn't be a reason to put him on the roster, but at the same time, like if you're going to make a decision like that, you do that at the beginning of the year when it's early, see what Henry can do for you. And then like Endy's been out. I keep going back to the fact that Endy didn't play one single game last year. Right? So, hey, go get him some more live at bats at AAA and then bring him up, see if he can stay hot. And he's going to spend a majority of this year in Pittsburgh. Like, there's no doubt about it. I just like, I'm moving more towards bringing Endy up on, for opening day, but I still think it's going to be Henry. I think they're going to see like, hey, Henry, this is your last chance, essentially.
Yeah. If I was to bet on it, I would say Henry. And that was my main argument was he's got nothing left to prove at AAA. Like you said, he's going to go down there and he's going to rake. He's going to hit balls 500 feet. But we do know he doesn't have much success at the major league level. And maybe he starts the year and that's short-lived and then they get Endy up sooner rather than later. Something tells me they really like Endy right now. And if we're talking about just purely earning it, they both have had pretty solid springs, but Endy has looked very good. I know you're a big proponent for Endy as well.
Big time. I think he's going to play a big role in this team this year, offensively and in every way. Like, I think this is a guy that they're really looking at as a major addition. Like, they didn't go out and really do much in free agency, and they didn't do much in the trade market in the offseason. Well, they're bringing back Endy. A lot of teams would be really happy to bring in a guy like that. But some other honorable mentions here that are on the fringe Billy Cook, Nick York, we've talked about them. Alika Williams, Joshua Palacios, who probably will get DFA'd if he doesn't make this roster because he's out of options. G1 Babe, Matt Gorski, and Nick Solak. All guys that have, been playing quite a bit in spring training. And then there's Spencer Horwitz, who's starting the year injured, right? And I think it's going to be a short term, maybe back by the end of April type of thing with his wrist, where he's going to slot in at first base. I'll be interested to see, how how the roster changes when he comes back.
Yeah, some good options there. Some depth, as I like to call it. Let's go to the bullpen. And I think I'm going to have to change something here.
Okay.
But Bednar, Holderman, Baczynski, Santana, Nicholas, which we discussed, Fangraphs not having on there, which I think is absurd.
Crazy. Yeah.
Tim Mesa, Caleb Ferguson, and I originally had Ryan Borucki. And I think I have to take Borucki off and replace him with Justin Lawrence to start the year. I think Borucki is going to have a lot of service time this year, but Justin Lawrence is also out of options.
Yeah, Justin Lawrence is going to make this roster.
He's going to make the roster, but I have such a hard time putting him in this group over anyone else.
Funny thing is, though, like we've talked about the bullpen at length, even when we were in Florida with Jim and just me and you. I think it's a very deep part of this team right now. If you look, especially when you look at this roster, when you're trying to make this 26-man roster for opening day, you're like, whoa, there are some guys that I'm leaving off this bullpen that probably should make this team. I'll tell you mine real quick. Mine's slightly different. I got Bednar, Holderman, and Santana in the back end. Then I've got Nicholas, Ferguson, Lawrence, and Mesa and Borucki as the long man. And
without Dennis Santana?
Santana's setup man. So it
Setup
goes
man,
Bednar,
okay.
Holderman, Santana, Nicholas, Ferguson, Lawrence, Mesa, Borucki. And that is with Jared Jones on the IL and Carmen Mudzinski sliding into the 5 spot. And for what it's worth, I like Nicholas over Mudzinski in the bullpen.
I know you do. I know you do.
So that leaves us with, and I think he's out of options too. The honorable mention, Joey Wentz. He's out of options, right? Or no?
I think so.
So Joey Wentz, and he's had a good spring too, by the way. Like that's a hard pick. I think Fangraphs had him as the long man.
They do.
I also listed Braxton Ashcraft and Mike Burrows because if they don't come up as starters, like they could probably Braxton Ashcraft more than Burrows, but could make appearances in the bullpen. Tanner Rainey, who is a non-roster invite, has had a great spring. Peter Strzelecki, Eddie Yean, Hunter Stratton, Isaac Matson, Johan Ramirez, who was a former Bucco, who actually pitched for the Dodgers last year. I think he got some playoff appearances. Ball moves quite a bit. Like they've got some options to the bullpen. I think it's really deep. And Dauri Moreta is this. We haven't even talked about Dauri Moreta. He's injured and probably coming back in the summer.
Right.
So I think you got a lot of options. I'm interested to see what they do with this bullpen for opening day. And I think a lot of that's going to be contingent on what goes on with Jared Jones.
Do you think they carry one more arm in the bullpen given the current situation?
So if you carry 9 arms, you'd have to go 4-man rotation, or you'd go 3-man bench. Like you have
bench. 3-man bench.
I don't think
no.
they do. No.
Just for like the first series to see if it depends.
I mean,
it depends on the news.
Yeah, they could for a series. It's also going to depend on options and everything like that with some of these guys. But yeah, I don't know what Borucki's status is because they brought him back on a minor league deal.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, dude, Borucki, a lot of these guys have earned a spot on the team. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, I think with Lawrence not having options, Ferguson being just like a big league staple, I think the guys that have a legitimate shot on the team are Bednar, Holderman, Santana, Lawrence, and Ferguson. Probably Mesa.
Yeah.
I think those 6. There's those two spots up for grabs.
It's kind of a homer pick on us, but I like Mesa. And there just because
he's done really well.
He's done very well. He's definitely earned a spot. Like you said, all of these guys you can make an argument, have had incredible springs. But if you're looking at this from a ground ball perspective, he's the only true ground ball pitcher here. He's the only true specialist you have here that has probably the highest ground ball rate on this team. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good problem to have. Good problem to have. Now let's get into the news of the hour. And before we get into it, I failed to mention after the game recaps, Andrew Haney, bad spring,
Mhm.
really bad spring. You know who also had a really bad spring last year? Fill it in for me.
Known funny guy, Bailey Falter.
Okay. So Bailey Falter last year was our known nice guy. And again, if you're just starting to listen to Bucco Banter, we appreciate you taking the time to consume all your Pirates content with us. Bailey Falter was so bad last year that we deemed him a known nice guy because something had to be good with it. Like we
For him
couldn't
to
just
still be here.
right. He had to be
Yeah.
such a nice guy. This weekend we discovered not only is he a known nice guy, he is a known funny guy.
Yeah.
Almost
We
everybody we talked to said he was the funniest guy on the team.
Yeah, so we actually we stood pretty close. Bailey fought. First of all, Bailey's bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah.
By the way, he's a big guy. But he was talking to a security guard, talking about his rehab and stuff like that. And then we interviewed like what, a dozen guys and asked who the funniest guy in the clubhouse was. And like I would say a good portion. I think he got the most votes as like the funniest guy in the clubhouse.
I think by far.
Yeah.
Also, known family man, which now we deemed him the known nice guy. What did he go on to do? Had a great season, probably the best starting season of his career. Is Andrew Haney our new known nice guy?
Award-winning nice guy. Like
Award
he's
winning.
yeah, like platinum nice guy.
Platinum level nice guy. He has been so bad. And again, as history tells us, he's always had pretty poor springs and then has been a solid MLB pitcher in his career. But man, is he a nice guy?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
he our no? Is this the transition that we had to make?
It's official as
It's on
of
us. It's on us to do it.
March 19th. Andrew Haney is a known nice guy, and Bailey Falter is a known funny guy.
Okay. Bailey Falter, known funny guy, 2025, looking to carry on the success. And then Andrew Haney, known nice guy, lot to prove.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. I'm willing to let him prove it, though, because, we saw this with Bailey Falter was atrocious last spring.
He's so bad.
So bad. Like, like he couldn't even get out of innings. They rolled innings, many innings that he was in. And Andrew Heaney, he's known for giving up fly balls. He's a fly ball pitcher, but man, I swear he's given up like 2 home runs every start this spring. But anyways,
it's all right. Starting rotation.
Let's start rotation. Let's
go for it. Paul Skeens. You ever heard of him?
Nah.
Mitch Keller. Bailey Falter. Andrew Haney.
And whoever. If Jared Jones is not going to start the season on the run.
I'm going Mike Burrows.
You're going Mike Burrows. I'm going to
go. Yeah.
I'm not confident about this. It just depends on the severity of the injury. But right now, I would say Carmen Mlodzinski, and that's because I want the bullpen that I have picked out to stay the way it is. But I think it's between Mlodzinski and Harrington. To be honest with you, I think Burrows is a third option. But
Harrington's a college guy.
Yeah. No, he's not.
He's not. Oh no.
High school to Connecticut.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on.
Who am I thinking of?
Harrington's out of Campbell.
Who did I just say?
Burrows.
Oh, sorry. I meant Harrington. Oops. Yeah, he's out of Campbell.
Yeah. Him and Zach Neto play together.
So what I was saying is Harrington is out of Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is not a high school guy that you've been developing for a long time. So is he ready for that stage? I'd make the argument that he's more ready as a 23-year-old, I believe.
I think he could pitch. I think he's a big league pitcher now. Like obviously you're going to go through your bumps, being, first year major league pitcher, but I think he could eat innings and be valuable to this rotation. And they could cut him back when Oviedo comes back, when, Jones comes back. If he does, this is a guy that you can be like, you can do a Phantom Ielson or give him breaks and spread out starts and stuff like that if you're really worried about his arm.
Skeens, Keller, Burrows,
I think he's also eligible for like that rookie performance belt. Like
he would be, yeah.
Yeah. So it's incentive for him to be on the big league roster. I'll just say
that. It's, man, not the news you want to hear. On the count of 3, yes or no, Jared Jones will pitch this year. 1, 2, 3. No.
No.
Hate to see it, man.
Second opinion, man. When I read second opinion, I'm like, okay, he's getting Tommy John. Like I've seen this so many times. I don't want to bet on him not being healthy this year.
Sure.
I want to continue my prayer circle, by the way, if that's something you guys are into, join
Yeah.
me. But
so rough, man. It's how props to everyone listening out there, every Pirates fan that has just absolutely been through hell and back.
There's a trend going around where people are posting, "Hi, my name is so and so," and they're putting all these fun facts about their favorite baseball team. Oh, hi, my name is Scott. I'm a lifelong masochist, and my favorite team is the Pirates, and they've had 3 winning seasons in my 30 years of life. So leave me alone.
What did we ever do to deserve this? That's the question.
Why, God?
Besides just being born in this region, is that the problem?
God created
Is loyalty
answers.
the issue?
Yes, the issue.
The issue? Jeez, oh man.
Have you seen that issue? That meme where it was just like, or something like, it's like the meme of like God. It's just like, well, I've made your life, like a lot worse or whatever. He's like,
how are you still alive?
Yeah. Thanks for making me a Pirates fan. Why? I've made your life much more miserable than it has to be.
Are we going to keep watching?
Yeah, 100%.
Are we going to keep talking about it?
Because I need to do soggy food reviews. That's like on top of my list for the summer.
So. Real quick, food reviews. We're about 42 minutes in. Let's talk about it real quick. PNC announced some new food.
Yep.
We got an almond tort dessert, which I love, given that Prantles and almond torts are fantastic. But also, and I'll let you pull it up because I don't want to butcher the name of it.
Oh, I got you. 1 second here, fellas. We have a new. Oh, wait, I gotta get to my links here.
It's of the Polish descent. It's in
the Polish cannonball is coming to PNC Park this year. Okay, listen to this. These are egg noodles, kielbasa, cabbage, bacon, cheddar cheese, and herb crema dip. Okay, they're fried balls. I can't. They're all right. I'm an idiot. Anyways,
so how many fried? Yeah, go on.
They're located at the Cannonball Stand. Is that out by like out in the outfield, right field? Yep. Okay, so they're gonna be there, and then you got a chipped ham empanada, which I love empanadas and chipped ham. Come on, that's such a Yinzer thing. It's an empanada filled with barbecue chipped ham, cheddar cheese, and pickles. Why do we gotta add pickles to everything, guys?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pickles are awful. Like, let's chill with the pickles.
And the almond tort.
Almond tort, funnel cake batter, dipped, fried, and topped with raspberry sauce, icing, and burnt almonds. Adam, this has your name written all over it. What was the dessert you tried last year that?
Like, oh my god, dude! That atrocity
made you live in the bathroom for half the game.
Oof! It was a maple bacon sundae.
Not a maple bacon hot dog. I'll tell you that much.
I wish it was the hot dog. This sundae was so bad. And I don't know why I thought it would have been a good idea. It was like 90 degrees outside and it was warm and like mushy and like stuck together. It was awful. But the fried balls, what is it called again?
The Polish cannonball.
Polish cannonball. We will do a food review no matter what. We're going to do a food review on all of these. I'll tell you this. If the post that we put out there gets 500 likes, I will eat 20.
We'll keep pushing that post.
I'll eat 20 of them. If it gets 1,000, I will put 3 of them on top of a renegade dog, and I will eat that.
You are a sick. We got kids listening to this episode now, so I gotta be careful. But yeah,
only on opening day. Only on opening day, because the adrenaline's flowing. I can't feel anything anyways, so let's just shove it all down this mouth hole and see what happens. And on that note,
let's just get out of here, man. I mean, this is just going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, well,
I'm excited for.
You're excited
for the new food. So I'll try the chipped ham. I'll probably pick the pickles out, and the Polish cannonball. I'll give it a try. I got to celebrate Pittsburgh's rich Polish history. So
You know what else you should do to celebrate Pittsburgh's rich Polish history?
a pulled pork pierogi hoagie. Oh, pierogi soup.
Pierogi soup.
Pierogi soup. Yeah.
Some pierogi soup. Also, you should go to buccobantr.com and get your merch while you can. Hopefully, we'll have some new stuff coming out soon and some new content coming soon. But also go to YouTube. Go watch us talk about your Pittsburgh Pirates. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, share it. If you don't like it, don't tell anybody. Don't tell a soul. And then go follow us on social media at Bucco Banter. Love you guys. If you're listening, leave a 5-star review. Download the episodes.
Say it back. I'm kidding. Go ahead. Sorry.
You
You said love you guys. I was like, say it back. Say it back.
Oh,
say it back.
yeah. Maybe just send us a message. Say you love us.
Yeah.
We'll send one back.
Maybe.
Man, my mind's all over the place right now. Today's been a rough day. Until next time, raise it.
Raise it.
Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates, or the steak by the plates and